Hello, Flosstube. I'm Allie Renee, and this is Allie Renee's Copious Spare Time. This is my Flosstube channel. I am doing a WIP parade. This is my first year on Flosstube, and now I realize everybody does these at the beginning of the year. It seems like people do it at mid-year, and sometimes people do them on their birthdays. So I did one on my birthday, which was in September. So this, for some people, this might be super boring because a lot of these are the same thing. But I have started a lot of new projects, so hopefully you will enjoy. I also know that sometimes, just based on my own experience with the YouTubes, is that I'm being served up tons of WIP parades right now, which are always fun to watch for me. So I thought, why not join in on the fun? And then I know that brings in new people. So if this is your first time experiencing my chaos, then welcome. My name is Allie. I am a costume designer and a professor of costume design and theater. I live in a tiny little adorable town in Stoughton, Wisconsin. And I work at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and then I freelance as a costume designer all around. Right now, I am coming to you from a lovely Holiday Inn in Skokie because I am in town outside Chicago to work on costumes for a show that is opening shortly at a place called Steep Theater. So I work a lot in Chicago, so I'm often spending a lot of time in quality hotel rooms such as this. But they also are a good opportunity to, where I have a lot of day time during the day where I'm not doing anything, to record a floss tube and work on projects. So that's what I've been doing today. So anyway, I also over the last week put all of my projects. I've been keeping my projects in my notes in a journal that I just started, kind of like a bullet journal. I used to bullet journal all the time. Hadn't done it in a while because I have to keep all my stuff on what the dumb Outlook calendar now because of work. So I hadn't been doing it and missed it, and then figured out, oh, this might be a good way to keep track of my cross stitch because I tried Notion and it wasn't working beyond keeping a list of patterns and when I started things, but keeping track of when I was working on things was not really happening on there. So I've been doing that in this little book here. But what I would did go through and do is to update all my pattern list in Notion and get all of my whips into my journal. And then I went through and tried to create, sorry, I'm turning pages, tried to create a list of days, like when I started things and that sort of thing. And I've been doing that pretty religiously and keeping track of my starts. And if I knew the fabric, I've been putting that on. I didn't always know it. So then I've also been using the book to like kind of like a book of days, like keeping track which projects I stitched on or started on a calendar at a glance. And yeah, so far it's been working okay. We'll see. I think it could be organized better, but I'm just going with it right now. So using both my floss tube, going back through old episodes and just memories and using my Notion, I was able to sort of reconstruct a timeline of when I started things. So I put all my projects in order and I'm going to go through them. I also took this opportunity while in the nice sterile hotel room to take photos of all of my projects. So I'm planning to put a slideshow together and keep information on that and then like make it a video so that I can share it on Instagram or whatever as an extra here. I thought that'd be fun. And I keeping track of them on there might be helpful for me too. And then I can keep track of like progress photos. Okay, so starting at the very beginning, sorry, let me back up. I learned how to cross stitch when I was a weak child. My mother taught me how to do it I probably was like 5 because I showed in an earlier video, I showed my very first finish which was a Fisher Price cross stitch, like where it's done on a hard plastic with like fat yarn. And then I had done various projects when I was a kid. Just kind of, 1980s, the finest of like Ziggy cross stitches and that kind of thing back then. And then I hadn't touched it in a while. And then I remember I can't find this project and I'm looking for it in my random stuff, is back in the mid 2000s. I'm a big Buffy fan, and like I used to have a Buffy podcast. I was pretty Buffy heavy, Buffy the Vampire Slayer heavy person. I still am. I still love Buffy, even though Joss Whedon is very problematic. I had bought a pattern for what I now know is a full coverage pattern of a collage of like different characters and scenes from Buffy into one big piece. And I had started that. I don't know where that is. So that was probably the first time I'd pick up cross stitching in at least 15 to 20 years. So that is somewhere in my stuff, but that was like 2 apartments ago, plus a marriage, plus a child. I mean, like, I don't know where that is right now. I'm hoping I didn't get rid of it. It's probably just in a box of things that I still haven't unpacked from 2 apartments ago, right? It's entirely possible. So then I hadn't picked up cross stitch until I moved back, gotten back into it. I've always been doing other fiber. I mean, I'm a costume designer, so I sew all the time. I also do weaving, I do spinning, I knit pretty heavily, do all kinds of stuff. Resin crafts, you name it. I used to do a lot of miniatures and sculpting and things. But I had once I moved up here, I brought my mother to there's a town called Mount Horeb here, which has a needlepoint store called Witchery Stitchery, and I brought my mother there because she's very big into she does slow stitching and embroidery, and I thought she'd like it to look at all the threads. And then while in there, I saw ink circles, green damsel hanging on the wall. And I'm like, that's really cool. I mean, I guess in my head, I still was thinking cross stitch was like Ziggy patterns from the 1980s, like in just like, I don't want to just, like chickens wearing aprons. And although I totally would now do a cross stitch of a chicken wearing an apron, but I guess I just was thinking of it as not something I'd be interested in. And then when I went in that store, I'm like, oh my God, all this stuff is beautiful. Um, so yeah, so I started picking that up. I had already been doing embroidery again, and doing like tapestry type work. Um, but I saw the ink circles green damsel pattern, and I bought the pattern, found linen in the like some remnant linen that I figured out was going to be the right size. This is using the threads, most of the called for threads. Let me find, hold on. I don't have a board with me, so I'm using a towel to to help show keep the light. Let me shift this computer. Hold on. Look at see I when I was in junior high, I took home ec, and our home ec teacher in the sewing class was very buxom, such as I am, and she used to walk around with the pattern pieces on display on her chest for a bunch of seventh graders, like it was a little display board. So I feel like I'm channeling Mrs. Stevens right now. Anyway, here you go. So here, if I can see that now. So here's where I'm at. I started. This was January 2023, I think is when I started this. So when I started this, I'm using most of the called for threads. They're classic Colorworks threads, but I substituted one. They didn't have it. So I think the orange is a slightly different orange than it's really close. It was like the next color I could find that was pretty similar. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Yeah. So when I started this, I had forgotten to think about things like making sure all the stitches were going in the same direction. So I just like, especially because it's a mandala, I just kept turning and then forgot. So there's a whole bunch of messes in here. And I'm close to being, I'm not that far from done, but I have lots of errors. And so now it's kind of being problematic where it's not going to mirror, and I was getting frustrated. So I think I was like, oh, do I pull things out? And at this point, I'm thinking, just get her done. Just, just deal with the errors. You'll frame it, and it'll be like a good, like, remember when you didn't know how to do this? Yeah. So, but it's still beautiful, so it'll be nice. And I'd like to get it done. So that's the first one. Green damsel ink circles. I also have no idea what this is linen. I'm pretty sure it's I think it's a 28 count. It might be 32, but I can't tell. It might even be 30 but it seems pretty easy to see. I even pressed things for you, everybody. You should be very impressed. Okay, so I've been working on that a while. Then I picked up, I'm a big Godzilla fan. I started this and also around the same time in 2023, probably like January, I think. And I this is a kit that I bought from like Temu maybe or AliExpress, which was a kit of the Great Wave of Kanagawa, which is a famous ukiyo-e painting by Hokusai. And so I then redrew the wave to be the kind of the silhouette of Godzilla. And then, so yeah, so and this is where I'm at. So this is a printed canvas. So the crazy colors that you're seeing are the, I adjust this so you can see a little bit more. The crazy colors you're seeing are things that are going to be filled in. So like that bright pink color and all this cream is going to be filled in with the tan, and all this will be filled in with navy. Yeah, so I'm getting close. This is, my first time doing full coverage. I got a lot of progress done down there. Um, yeah. Kind of, when I started to fill this in, I was kind of shocked at how dark that was. I thought it was going to be more like this color that's there, but I think it'll look okay. I just was like, oh, maybe I will use some white in it or cream. But I think all in all, once it's done, it'll just be, I think I don't want to really go back and pull all that out, frankly, right now. And I've made a lot of progress. So then once this is done, I need to wash it to get all of the printing stuff on, and it really needs some heavy blocking because I have some seriously chunky stitches. I'm a little concerned. Some of the places the coverage isn't great, and this, these were the crappy kit threads. And I'm hoping that when I wash it and block it, it will kind of maybe plump up a little bit, or just, at least then I won't see the printing underneath because it'll go away and the white of the canvas will show through of the Ada. And I believe this is 14 count Ada, so it's big. But yeah, so there's that. My full coverage piece, and I'm hoping to get that done this year. My goal is to get this done by this summer so that I can actually maybe even bring it to there's a gallery at the College of DuPage, which is in the suburbs of Chicago, where I work a lot doing costumes for a theater company that's in residence there. And the art gallery there is going to have an exhibit of other floating world artworks like Hokusai's, and they're going to have Hokusai's Great Wave there. So I would love to bring it, take a picture with it and the original print, as well as my Doc Martin combat boots, which are also of the Great Wave of Kanagawa. So I think that's my goal, is to have it done. So then the next piece I have, I think, is the chronological order here, is this one is Kottiwample. Kottiwample by this is Long Dog Sampler. And this is on, I think this is 16 count, maybe 18 count Ada. And I bought this pattern at Swarov's Heirlooms, which is in Glen Ellen, Illinois, which is right by the college where I work. And then bought it's like DMC on it. And then this is where I got to. I realized that I messed up, though, that this chicken is too tall. So there's some counting error over here. And originally I was going to just either frog that or just finish up, like just cut this piece out and just leave it. But what I'm thinking is I might just like, that's quite a bit of work done. Here's the full, it's not that much, but it's enough that like, will it really make a difference? So I'm wondering if I might not just, the other thing I was reacting to is like I'm not in love with just seeing the white of this Ada. And I thought, well, since I only have the black done, maybe I could, and I also see like a huge dirt mark down here. I don't know what happened down here. Um, just I was filthy, evidently, when I was sewing this. Is I might try to put a little wash over this, like a dye it a little bit so that the Ada is more interesting, and then just try to go with the mistakes. And maybe like instead of using the chart to finish this wolf and this whatever this chicken is that I will try to just mirror what I did on this side. So I'm copying the same mistake and then just pick up from there and then keep going. Because all this is correct. The only thing that's wrong is this chicken and the wolf. I think there's a one extra stitch somewhere in here because this chicken is taller than he should be. So I could just try to rip out the chicken or just copy the chicken, the incorrectness on this side, and just go with it. So that's kind of what my new plan is. Instead of just UFOing this, or like just forgetting it, I'm thinking I'm going to try dyeing it and seeing what happens and then going from there. So That is Kottiwample by Long Dog, and I believe I started this in either February of 2024, might even have been a little earlier, might have been November. This is one I don't have a date on. I'm just kind of guessing. Next one is Elegant Squid by Ink Circles. And this was also a pattern that I purchased at Tomorrow's Heirlooms. I also purchased this while I was there doing a show. And I don't know what the linen is here. I think it's a 32 count. It's a Zweigart base, but I don't know the dye. It's got, I don't know, it's hard to see in here because the lighting is not great. But it's got kind of a gray, blue green wash over it. It's really pretty. I was not using the called for. I tried to pick out two colors that I thought were really pretty, which were like a black, like I think it's mascara, Weeks Dye or mascara, and then like a teal. But when I started stitching them, they looked really similar. So I need to go back and pull out. I also then tried, I pulled out the teal and then I went back and you can't see this either, is that I put like a silver metallic in there. And that is also not working because both the metallic was evil. It's not it was like that DMC metallic, which is like evil, like the fruits of the devil kind of thing. And it's also reading as the same color as the mascara, the this deep teal. I'm sorry, this isn't mascara, it's something else. It's like a deep teal color. So I'm thinking what I want to do is pull out this metallic and I have some teal, some really bright jewel toned, like teal aqua color that of a Petite Treasure braid that I'm using in a later project that I love and I enjoy sewing with. So I'm thinking I'm going to pull that out and use that Petite Treasure braid to have a little bit of sparkle for my elegant squid. And then I will get back to work on him. And then this I started, oh, where's this one? This is from March 2024 is when I did this one. Okay, next is Tree of Hope. And this is Mirabilia. And I have a fair amount of progress on this one. Let me show it again. And this is on the called for Witchelt. This is I started this in May of last year and have been focusing on it quite a bit. I've done a couple, it's all the called for things. The only thing I've done that's a little different, I've done the dresses slightly different. I added is you can't, I don't know if you can't really tell that I added an extra band in here. I made the dresses just a touch longer and added an extra room to do an extra row of beading in there. I was just doing some changes. And then when I go and do the skin is all in one color and is charted as all one color. I might actually make it two colors so that it has some shading is the idea. So yeah, I mean I really enjoy working on this. Has been really fun to work on. Right now, I've kind of stalled out because I'm not feeling these flowers on the side, these like elaborate planters. Those are kind of tedious as hell to work on right now. I'm like, So I kind of pooped out on it a little bit. So I just kind of, it's like eating my vegetables. That's kind of what that feels like. So I just got to power through. Then next project is Seiju Spectacle, which is also an Ink Circles pattern. This was a kit that I purchased at Tomorrow's Heirlooms. And so I did this I believe I started this in April as well. Right around the same time. They're both like May, April starts, and I just have a little teeny tiny start on this of the top of their little like it's going to be in a little eyeglasses cased. And so yeah, and this is on whatever the linen came in this kit, 36 count linen, and it's got three colors of hand-dyed silk. It is great. This kit was like $10. It was a really good deal. And then I have a second one of these patterns. For some reason, I bought it twice. I don't know why. So I might, at some point, I will do a giveaway. I have giveaways of multiple duplicate patterns that I have to finally finish. Okay, then our next project is Deadly Aquarium. This is Lola Crow. This was sorry for all the loose threads. I'm still working on it. So there's just stuff hanging. And this is by Lola Crow. This was a stitch along that I was keeping up with for quite a while and then pooped out on, but I've been still working on it. This is on 18 count Ada that I dyed myself. and I was trying to dye it where it's a little darker, like ombre at the edges, because I thought it'd make it interesting for framing. But however, if I do this again, I need to make sure the ombre goes in deeper because like I'm gonna lose so much of the cool ombre when I frame it. Although if I frame it with like the teeny tiniest edge, then I might have a chance. But yeah, I think it's very pretty. I lately I've been going through and just like, oh, I'm gonna try to put at least one length of thread in this floss in this a week, you know? It's kind of what I've been doing. So right now I'm working on this, I'm working over here in the coral section. So there's like no good way to do this. Over here is where I've been working right now, doing this right here. Okay, next. This is a project the town I live in is very heavily Norwegian in influence and like lots of people still there's lots of things are written in Norwegian. You can take Norwegian classes. They teach Hardanger classes at the senior center right down the street from me, etc. It's great. So they have a big sit and mai party, which is the like Norwegian Independence Day, basically, which is the 17th of May. This is a big banger of a party in my town. So I in honor of that, I started this Quakers in Scandinavia by attempting tangles on that in May of last year. Here's my start. It's tiny. I've been doing the little troll in the corner. This is on even weave that I dyed. I basically just did I don't know if you can tell. There's like an ombre of gray just at the bottom. So there you can see it better because there's a lot of white in this pattern at the bottom, and I was like the white on white you couldn't see, so I thought this might make it more interesting down there to be so you could see the motifs in white. I haven't picked this up in a while, and my plan is to start working on this on the 17th of every month, which is today. So I need to like work on this today. So I'm gonna work on this when I get home from dress rehearsal tonight. So I'm thinking if I can just try to keep working on it every 17th and then work on it a lot in May, I can start making some progress on it. This is the other project that I started right around the same time, which was also like for my sit into my start. And this is Gara's Gnomes in Springfield. And so, you know, I thought some little gnomes and trolls would be appropriate for little, it's Norwegian little mystical creatures. So yeah, so there's my little gnome. And this is on linen that I bought at Joann Fabrics, which I'm finding is nice, actually nice to sew on, but it's not a perfect even weave. So he's a little lankier than he should be, which I think is fine for this project. So certain projects, I think using this linen, which I have a ton of and was cheap as hell, could be okay. Especially ones that are like more primitive base, like it might be okay, or things that don't require, or like making something chunkier or lankier based on which direction I put the fabric would be okay. Anyway, so my plan is to gonna finish him up and then make a needle book out of him or something a little small. And then there's a large that pattern has several kind of like options to make larger or smaller sections. So I'm just gonna keep making little things and maybe do a bigger one at some point too. Here it's another, this is probably, I think I started this one in June. This is La Poule Pinkeep, and this is also on that same Ada or linen from Joann, but 100% linen, but I dyed it. This is when I dyed. So this is going to be Stacey Nash's La Poule Pinkeep, and I've just started in the corner with the flower. I'm using a lot of the called fors, but some of the fancy flosses, and then some things I've subbed in because I had a bunch of fancy floss that I bought in a lot. But so I was just trying to make use of what I have. And this is another one. I think this is, you know, like this is the linen that's not a pure even weave, but I don't think that'll be a problem because there's kind of like a whole primitive vibe of the taste Stacey Nash chicken paste patterns that will be okay. So I need to get back to him. This is the party hat chicken that I'm excited about. Sorry, I feel like my projects, I don't know if you've noticed this, I have a really wide range of projects and like no discernible style. I just like pick what I like, and what I like is different based on whatever the day brings. Here's another example of that. This is Tiny Modernist Zodiac. And so this is a big stitch along. I bought it after the stitch along was done. I believe I started this in June or July of last year. And yeah, and I'm using the called for colors. And then this is I believe this is 18 count Ada that I dyed myself, which I was pretty pleased with this dye job. I think it turned out pretty good. And then I have worked on this quite a bit in the last couple of weeks because I had almost nothing. And now I'm like, oops, geez. It's always impossible to figure out which direction to show things on. I've picked this up a lot recently. So Mr. Capricorn has been getting a workout down there. And I think that the colors are turning out really nicely on this purple Ada that I dyed. So yeah, I just it's fun. So this tiny modernist, I'm hoping if I can keep up with this, if I can keep this up, maybe I can get this done this year. If I keep like finishing a circle each month. I probably won't because I still have to do the frame too. I'm trying to do the frame at the same time. I already had started on the frame, like I did the frame up to the very top to make sure I had enough room on this Ada. It's up here. And it looks like I will. So anyhow, so I'm hoping if I can keep up with this, I might be able to get this done in the next year, possibly maybe by March of next year. Be nice. This is from Lindy Stitches, and this is Emo Birds. Oops. Which I started this one in July. And this is where the cauliflower floss is. Well, that fabric is not cut straight. This is some even weave. Oh no, that's linen. It's linen that I got in a thrift store haul that I hand dyed. I just threw some spatters on it. I was just trying to make something kind of moody to make a spooky knit. So yeah, I have a decent start on that. Here's what the pattern looks like. Emo birds. I think this will be good in my bath. I have a bathroom that kind of has spooky themed to it, so that's where it's going to go. All right, next is the brier, which is by Sprouting Lupin. Here's a picture of the pattern. This I got, this came in the fairy tale stitch box. I think I got this in, I think it was July. This is either a July or August start. It came with this beautiful like floss holder. And I'm now starting to keep all my flosses this way, either on pretty ones or I'm making ones out of cardboard. And I went and did a bunch of that over the last 2 weeks, is like putting all my floss on floss drops. And then instead of having floss in bags, making like I'm trying to make a master set. And so I'm making cards with punch holes in them and writing the symbol and the number on, and then loading it up with a couple of threads so that I can make sure I have access to more flosses to kit up other projects. So I've done a bunch of reorganizing and kitting up things and putting things on little holders like this. So that and that's led me to start a bunch of new projects lately because I like finally have the floss for them because I fetched them out of other bags. So fairy tale or this briar pattern is so pretty. I love it. And I'm getting close to being done with it. And this is on, oh, I think it's Atomic Ranch. Let me see if I can find the name of the fabric. It's 32 count Atomic Ranch. Oh, sorry, I lied. Weathered Stone. And so I started this July 7th. And so I'm pretty close to being. There's the more border up here, and then I have once upon. I have some words, and there's another fleur up there at the top I gotta do. So I'm enjoying stitching this, and it's fun. I think Stephanie at Cross Stitch the Globe is just starting hers for her sister Allison's Cinderella birthday fairy tale Sal, I think. Yeah, it's a nice pattern. This was a great. I love Sprouting Lupin stuff, so I'm enjoying it. So that's priority to get that one done. Also from that same book, hold on. I started another piece. Actually, I started that project at this same hotel in July because I was staying at the lovely Skokie Holiday Inn at the same time. I also started from the same book, this Lola Crow Sea Maid, Little Mermaid pattern. right around the same time. That is on some black Ada that I was just experimenting with. This is the tiniest, crappiest start ever, but it is on black Ada. So there's like a wee bit of stitching here that I like took some fabric paint and I was like, I'm just gonna experiment and do some weird swirls and stuff just to see how it looks. I think it's gonna end up looking like trash, but who knows? It could be fun. It doesn't look great in the picture. It looks much, there's like all this, I don't know, you can see there's glitter and sparkle, but I'm hoping it'll be interesting when it's done. So I thought just another way to experiment on having some fabric modification happening. So tiny start on that. I haven't worked on it in a while. On the back side of this is the start of the Tiny Modernist. This was from the Midsummer Stitch, Lindy Stitch's Midsummer Stitch. I started that whenever that event was, and I haven't finished it. And then I didn't use, I messed up. I forgot I had started this, and then I saw a bunch of floss and I put it away, not realizing that floss was for this project, and I didn't use the called for floss. So now I got to go back and try to do some like investigation to try to find which colors these were, so I can finish this because it's cute, and I think it'd be cute on a project bag. Who knows? Um, right around the same time, too, I started another tiny modernist project, which is the skunk biscornu. And here's the start. It's on 18 count Ada. I realized I miscounted though, and he's too tall. There's like he's at least one or two stitches off. And so I'm trying to decide if I just like give up and just start over again, because if he's wrong, I either have to make it wrong on all the other corners because this little skunk gets repeated three more times, or I have to just start over because I have to either copy the mistake or the other three skunks will look different than this skunk. So I'm like, which is worse at this point? I can't tell. I mean, this is not that many stitches that I couldn't just go back and maybe I can just find where the mistake was, but who knows? So I've been ignoring him since I found that problem. Tedious. I clearly the theme is here that I can't count. It's a common theme. Next is this lovely one. This is Thurza Goes Goth. Thurza Goes Goth, and this is by Hemlock and Rye. Here's the picture of the pattern. I think it's very pretty. I love the colors of this. This is I believe it's 18 count Ada that I ice dyed. And I think I'm really excited about the ice dyeing. I think it looks pretty darn cool. So I'm hoping I forgot to do it when tried doing snow dyeing when this first snowfall happened. And I live, in Wisconsin, it's snow all the time. And then I completely forgot. And the other day it had snowed some more and I went and gathered a bunch of snow and then I ran out of time to do it. It was also so cold out that the snow wouldn't have melted. So I would have had to like get the snow and then bring it into the house so that it would melt. And that just felt like too much potential for chaos and mess. So I need to try it again. Maybe I'll try it again with ice, but I need to go to the thrift store and get some big like metal pans to use and some like grates. I need to find some like grating so that the water will go down. I need to figure out a situation because I want to try it out with both ice dyeing more fabric or snow dyeing more fabric and doing it with floss too. So who knows? Okay, next start. This is Weeds and Wildflowers by Artsy Housewife. This was a Roxy Floss Co. Um, I think it's Carolyn's birthday sal was to do this. And so this is on the 32 count linen. I think it's called Buttercup. It's very pretty. I'm enjoying this. I did some work on this recently too, because I've got that one flower is almost done. That's what I've been working on. Here's the finished, sorry, the plastic's on. And so then the next one, this is Within a Dream. This is the Artsy Housewife Patreon pattern. And like seriously, if you even remotely like her stuff, her Patreon is just epic. The one this month, I mean, I forgot to print it the other day. But I'm gonna start that like right away next week. It's so good. I think it's her birthday. It's one for her birthday. Um, it's so good. And this one's beautiful. I love it. Um, but all of the patterns have been amazing. And I like want to start them all. And since I just finished Christmas chicken recently, you can go back and look at that in last video. I just like I have room to start another one. So there's my start with Within a Dream. I've done a decent amount of work on this one for the last couple of weeks too. Been working on that border. Yeah, and this is 18 count Rustico Ada. I like the Rustico. It's kind of interesting. I think it's great texture and I don't mind it. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. So, yeah, I love this pattern. It's beautiful. It's really satisfying to do. It's very because it's a lot of satisfying block stitching. I did not. You could get a very you could do the fancy floss version, like Roxy Floss Co. has a fancy floss conversion for it. And I think there's another one out there. And I kind of wish I had done some of the ones in fancy floss, but it's still pretty regardless. Okay, next is the this is a kit Together Again by La Dida that I got at Country Sampler, which is in Spring Green, Wisconsin, which is dangerously close to where I live. So I have to go up there on occasion because so it's like an hour from where I live. And but they also have a theater there that has a great costume stock, which I often go to borrow costumes from. So every time I'm forced to go up there to buy costumes, I'm also then, of course, forced to go to Country Sampler and give them so much of my money. If you've never been to that store, you should go to their website. I mean, one of the things they're kind of known for is doing their own kind of custom conversions of things. It's definitely a sampler heavy store. Like you're not going to go in there and see any tiny modernists or anything. It's all like it's like lots of samplers, all samplers and primitive stuff. So they have lots of Stacey Nash, some Kathy Barrick stuff in there, but otherwise it's all like Hands Across the Sea, that kind of stuff, right? So, um, but I bought this this was in their sale room. I got this kit for $39 that came with everything you need, including like the wool and the like a pretty little needle counter, things like that. So, and that I have a tiny start on it where I started. Here's the with needle and thread is where I get that. And then this is the start of the one of the pin cushions because it comes with like a there's that and there's a little pin cushion and that's why I got two of the parts started. Yeah, I haven't picked this up in a while, and I think I started this in I think it was July is when I started this. And this is on the linen. I don't know what it says, what linen it was, what the linen is. Let me tell you. I think it's 36 count. Here's the threads. It's 36 count Confederate gray linen. Yeah. And I think I will finish it as a pin drum. I know some people don't like pin drum finishes because then you can't see everything at the same time. I think this one is nicely designed to do that, but we'll see how I feel about it when it's finished because maybe it'll be something. It could be a nice. They show you it as a pillow too, and it could be a nice pillow. I just I'm new enough to this that I don't have that like, oh, I have a dough bowl that I need to fill. Like I don't understand why would you have a bowl of pillows out? But I don't know. As I get older, it feels like, oh, of course I should have a bowl of pillows. I'm just not very much, I'm really not a grown up. I have a very like barely pay attention to my house. We have this beautiful house that I'm just trashing, I feel like every day. So I don't know. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with myself and do some sort of decorating as I finish these things. I'm going to show them. Okay, so then I hadn't had a new so that was probably like I started that I think also in like July or maybe August, and then I hadn't had any new starts in quite a while. I'd just been working on the projects that I had, and still not including Mill Hills. I have a couple Mill Hills I'll show at the end, which I was working on those. Otherwise, I've just been working on Godzilla and the things I already had, a lot on my Mirabilia, etc., and just rotating through my projects. I was buying lots of things, but not starting lots of things. So then this I got Winter Wind. I picked this up at beautiful Sip and Stitch in it's in Roscoe, Illinois. I bought this over November, like Thanksgiving weekend, and then started it immediately. And yeah, so I started this in November. And then this is on I think it's Manny de hold on, let me tell you. Samplers and Primitives. This is a 36 count, November 2024, 36 count Pumpkin Patch by Manny Di Donna. Yeah. And I used some I subbed in some cottage garden threads. I tried to press this, but Lord above, this does not want to get flat. Um, but you can see I started some of the letters and I got some of the reindeers done. So I'm hoping to have this, like to have this done by next winter, be the goal. Um, Not included in this are I had two finishes right around in November and December, starts and finishes also, where I did a Tiny Modernist gingerbread house, which I showed in the last video, and the Bryson Bentley Badger flat fold thing by Pumpkin Patch. And those were both for the Jingle Ball. Then another Jingle Ball start and in progress. I didn't finish it is the Blue Flowers Festive Forest. And this is on, I believe it's like it's 16 count Ada. It's opalescent Ada. You can't really tell. And it's starting to get dark here. And the that I hand dyed. So I dyed this. This is the same fabric I used for the Bryson Bentley Badger. And this is what it will look like. It is this kind of crazy pin cushion thing. Yeah, I mean, I think the colors are beautiful. I love that fox. Oh, so pretty. And I think it looks nice on this stuff I dyed. So yeah, my goal would be to get this done by next winter. It's a big old stitch though. Lord above, it's a big, big stitch. I don't know how people got that done before the class. Ambitious. Here, my next big start. I bought this pattern a while ago, but then for Christmas, my mother bought me the thread packs to for Christmas. So as soon as I unwrapped them, I started that day. And I've worked on this quite a bit since I got it on Christmas. And so here is Sir Thomas turkey. This is my fancy turkey. Oh, he's so pretty. So I last time since the last video, I have done way more work on those turkey feathers, which are kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, it's looking good. I got one leg done, or leg mostly done. This pattern is so fun because it's like he's a fancy turkey. He has like a bunch of like Kreinik and Rainbow Gallery and Petite Treasure Braid, and he has beads. He's a fancy, fancy turkey. He's so pretty. Yeah, it's going to be very sparkly. I don't know where I'm going to put him when I'm done. Like, is he going to go in my office? I don't know. Maybe in my house. I kind of want to just like have him next to my bed so I can wake up and look at him in the morning as opposed to my dog and husband. I love him so much. I'm gonna love him so much. It's probably unnatural, my feelings about Sir Thomas. Then I also started this recently. This is Artsy Housewife Gorgeous. I showed this in my last video. This is on Even Weave from the thrift store that I dyed. I always like look for thrift store hauls of like fabrics gone by. This cut is too narrow to do this pattern. But I explained in my last video, I'm altering this pattern by moving these two flowers. I'm not going to do these two flowers. I'm going to repeat this flower on the bottom. And so it'll just be long and skinny, almost kind of like a bell pull almost. So I've got a little bit more work done on the bird head. I'm trying to outline it so that I can just do like black fill in when need something where I don't have to pay attention. I don't have to look at a pattern. It's a good like kind of a mindless fill. This is a new start. You haven't seen this since the last my last Flosstube. I started this January, I think 1st or something. And this is array number 1 by Shaded Stitchery. And I am, oh wait, which direction does this go? This way. I think that's right. Yeah. So this is on this is some sort of this might be Rustico. I can't tell. It's a Ada. I think it's Rustico. I think it's 16 count, it might be 14 count, but it's nice and easy. But yeah. And I'm using the called for DMCs on it. This is a fun sew right here. This is a fun stitch. It's real satisfying. Pattern stitching. I mean, these are beautiful. I really love this designer's stuff. I think it's going to be pretty. I think that one's going to go in my office maybe. Here's another new start, finally. I've been looking at other people have recently had finishes of this, and I'm like, oh, I need to get done. But this is White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick, and I know I just saw Lindy's Steph at Lindy Stitches just finish it, I think, right? And she had done it on like persimmon, I think, linen. So I mean, I really like that on the orange as opposed to this yellow. So I had this piece of I think this is an even weave that I had dyed this kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a peachy orange, peachy rusty color. And so I started this. And I'm gonna change. So here the only thing change I'm making is that, so like, I don't know if you can see on here, there's these kind of like yellow chickens or yellow birds. So I'm making these kind of like more of a light melon, like something that is close to this color, but light, just slightly lighter. I'm going to change those birds to that. But yeah, this one's a fun one too. I like, it's good satisfying block stitching. Um, Okay, this is another new start. I went on start crazy finish lately because I was like, I want to work on the Nora, I want to work on my Mirabilia, but didn't want to deal with those dumb planters on the side. So I had just picked up these two, um, Moonglow and the other one. I can't remember. They have like two partners, these of the series. I got the fully kitted out. So this is Nora Corbett's Moonglow, and here's my start. And this is going so fast. I mean, I've worked like maybe 2 days on this. Like it's going fast. And that's so I've got like a lot of the hair done, and some of the flowers and it's got beautiful. I mean, all this. Look at all those beautiful, beautiful water lilies. It's got like six different water lilies in it. So it's gonna be pretty. I'm excited about this one. So to get both of these done. And this is going really fast. So I suspect I mean, it still has beads and stuff too, but I might get this, ooh, maybe get this done this year, maybe even sooner. So there's that. This is another kit that I started. This is a kit also got from Asia. It's like I don't know, AliExpress or Temu or something. And this is Chinese birds. So an ancient, this is very old tapestry. Was I even holding that up correctly? Yeah. And so this is a printed canvas. So it's huge, it's full coverage, it's massive. And it feels like it's bigger than 14 count, like it might be 12 count, because these squares are definitely bigger than 14 count. I'm having to use, so I've started like where can you see? This is all that where I'm filling in the yellow right now, which is all this kind of yellowy tan color. And I'm using three. I tried doing it in two and it was like the coverage was horrible. So I'm using three strands. And it's better. Uh yeah, and I was doing this in rehearsal because it's so big. I can see it. It's not too hard to see in low lighting. So I was doing this while sitting in dress rehearsal this week. I think it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna take forever. But although that was not a lot of huge amount of work for a huge amount of time to already get that many stitches in. So maybe it'll go faster than I'm thinking. But yeah. The others, I've done a couple other baby starts. Like I said, while I was going through my flosses and getting them into a map, trying to start doing them in floss drop form and then putting them in number order, I was also then like, oh, maybe I can kit some things up. So I started making more of those cards with the holes in them and writing the symbols down. And so I was inspired to do this one the other day. This is from the Starlight Stitchery Grimoire pattern collection. And I'm doing this Find a Familiar by Flossy Fox Shop. And I did a couple of thread swaps on this, mostly because of what the fabric that I chose. But where is it? Here we are. This is the start that I have, which is it's tiny. Started to do that little plant, and I just started to do the the kitty. Um, but yeah, and this is on an 18 count Ada that I dyed as well. And it's like navy and brown and tan and stuff. And I thought it'd be cool for this, but I really like the way that that orange, those oranges work on there. It's hard to get focus. Um, so yeah, is that. Next, I started one of my samplers that I bought at Country Sampler, and this is Hannah Ann Wallace, 1850, from Hands Across the Sea. Oh no, I lied. With Thy Needle. I'm wrong, filled with wrongness. And this is, let me find the name of this one. I started this on, I bought this on December 24th at Country Sampler. So this was a recent trip. Not 24th, it was like the 23rd. I didn't go there on Christmas Day. That's wrong. December, it was like December 20th or something like that. And this is 36 count winter brew. And then this is, I have tiny, tiny start. I started this on 1/8. Oh, you can't even see that. Let me get a thing behind it. Teeny tiny, teeny tiny start. You can barely see it. So far the 36 count is working out. It's definitely small, but yeah, but I think it's gonna be pretty. Yeah. Okay, here's another antique rooster sampler. Is another new start. This is another pattern I bought at Country Sampler. And then I bought the it's a Schoolhouse Red, the cool girls use, and I'm like this far. And I'm just doing it on, this is like 20 count Ada. Yeah, which is from a thrift store that I had. So yeah. So I can do it in one, I'm doing one thread in 20 count there. It's not very much. These are some tiny, tiny starts, but okay, another new start is Maddie, which I started this today. So this is a Kathy Barrick. This is one that I've had kitted up for a while and then just thought I felt the need to like start something, go buy something. I'm like, why don't you, instead of buying something, shop your stash? So like if I've got these things kitted up, they're ready to go. When I'm feeling the urge to buy, I could just just go into my stash. So I've got a start on the border. And this is a linen, this is vintage linen I got at the thrift store. It's a Charles Craft Super Linen 27 count. It originally cost $2.49 from Northwest, but I've got it for like $1 as a part of a lot of about 10 other pieces of needlepoint fabric. And I'm using uh the called fors and some substitutions for fancy flosses with other fancy flosses. I just kind of pulled what I had that was the called for and then subbed in something that was close. Yeah, I mean, it's going pretty fast. I mean, I only started that today, so it'll be fun. It's nice and easy. It'd be cute, be nice to have for Halloween. Although I like that it's like not super spooky. I also have a black cat named Jameson. So who looks like that. He has a big old bushy tail and it's very grumpy all the time. So felt like an appropriate thing for me to start. Last start, and then I have some Mill Hills I'll show you, is I just started this too, which is Lindy Stitch's sweater vest weather. And I have the teeniest tiny start. I've done one gourd, some of the sweater vest of one turkey. And so this is like 3 lengths of floss is what I've done on this. So there you have it. It's amazing. This is what you came here. This is what sells tickets, gets you in, is that epic start. Sorry. I don't have a lot of I don't have I feel like I feel envy of some other people's projects, but I have a few that are pretty decent, right? Last but not least is my Mill Hill kits that are in progress. Oh, there's another project that I did not have with me, and that is that I will try to put a picture in, and that is I started a Spirit of Cross Stitch Angel by Brooks Books. I started that in spring of 2024, and I'm doing that on plastic, like really low count, like 14 count plastic canvas. And it called for DMC, and I didn't grab. I brought all of the stuff with me to the hotel, but I didn't. You can I that when I missed, it didn't come with me. And I just learned that she died, which is such a huge bummer of cancer. So you can't buy her patterns anymore until I got an email from the Etsy store because I had bought a ton on Etsy, which I'm really glad I did because now you can't buy them anymore. So if you see paper patterns, get them. I have a paper pattern of this one, and then I have a PDFs of about 12 other ones. So it's really sad. Uh, Wonderful, talented artist. So it's very sad to see anybody go, but especially in due to something as horrible as cancer. So I will show I'll try to put a picture in, otherwise I'll show it next time because I'm planning to start working on them all because I love them. So okay, then so here's my Mill Hill kits that I have in progress. This is the mushrooms one, which is nearly done. I'm in the beading phase right now. This is Red Rooster, who is done. He just needs cut out and put on, needs finished, basically. So he done. And then I have a oh so exciting start on taco. So I've been working on these. These are kind of I keep these in my purse and work on them in meetings projects. And then I have many more waiting in the wings to get started. So yeah, so that is that'll be the WIP parade. For my plans, I mean, I want to finish, I'm hoping to finish a couple of these this year. I have some new starts that I want to do this year that I can tell you about. Some I have with me. Let me grab them. Okay, some of my plan starts, I don't have them in like when I'm going to do them, but I want to start this one. This is Birds to the Boughs by Lindy Stitches. And I'm thinking I'm going to do it on this opalescent Ada that I dyed. You know, I did the little floss card, and I think that that would be pretty. So I just love these colors. Oh, so pretty. So anyway, so that's Birds to the Boughs. I might, I saw that, I think it was Cam, Cam Stitcher did hers without the extra border on the outside and just did the curly Q border. And I'm half tempted to do that, is to just do the curly Qs myself, because that seems like, first of all, those are a lot of stitches. And I also like it might not need it. And also I might want to die if I did those. So that was a thought. I was like, oh, you young people have good ideas. I'm gonna steal them. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do that. Here is another kit that I purchased at um Country Sampler. This is Every Opening Flower by With Thy Needle. So it's Brenda Gervais, right? And this is on 40 count winter brew kit. Look at those. Ugh, just look at that color. So this is another thing I want to start. Thought I might try to start it this weekend, but I've run out of time. Maybe when I get home. Or I might just save this for when I need a new start fix, because it definitely does feel like a dopamine hit. This is another plan start, which is Cherry Magpie, my Jet X stitch, Jessica. I just need to dye fabric for this. I've got it all. I had this and thought, well, maybe I'll put it on that, but I think it needs to be darker. So I'm going to dye another one that's more pink. I've got all the flosses. I haven't put them on a needle or on a ring yet, but so it's ready to go as soon as I dye fabric. And I bought some dye for the fabric. And I think I want to do it on Ada. Like I'm really like, much as I love linen, sometimes I just want I just want to be able to see it. So too much to ask. So yeah. This is another start. I want to do like, first of all, I want to do everything the Artsy Housewife puts out, but I really like these letter ones. So there's like the B is for bird, and then there's another one that was like I don't know, the new one came out the other day. There's a cow one, I think. But also her birthday one might trump this one because that birthday one I want to start right away. So definitely want to do that. Then I also want to start Coffee and Eggs by Artsy Housewife. Hoping to start that this year. Oh, her Christmas cat is another one I want to do. I tried to start this one today, which is Forest Goddess by Quaternion Creations. I had kitted it up and made my little floss card. I had not opened the pattern. I used on the back of this is the back of the pattern has like, oh, the floss numbers are back here. So I use that and then I open the pattern and none of these are used in this pattern. So that is clearly a typo left over from another pattern that uses these flosses because only one of these flosses is what I put on this card. None of the, I mean, these are all what I put on this card, but none of these are actually used in the pattern. So don't do what I did. Open the inside. I was very annoyed. So that is wrong. Don't follow that. Um, yeah. So I have another like linen colored Ada, like a rustico looking Ada that I was going to do this on. So, but I'm not clearly not doing it because I don't have any of the floss for it. Oh well, I'm excited about that pattern though, but not excited about a massive typo on the back of the pattern. So that would be a start. Would have been a start today. Another thing I have kitted up and ready to go is something from is uh is the spooky boot the I want to do Goth chicken here, spooky boot book from Lindy Stitches. I have that one, Goth chicken's on my start list. So as soon as I finish Emo Birds is what I'm planning to do, is something from here. Goth chicken, and there's another one in here that I want to do. I want to do all these animal crackers, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to start with this one. I just got some fabric that I ordered in to start doing this. So yeah, and I got the fabric on sale from Wizardy or something. Using I think I think it's 36 count something. I can't remember what the color was that I got from Wizardy, and I had like a $10 off coupon on shop plus shop cash, so it ended up being really inexpensive. Yeah, so that's my next start. I have all these blue flowers that I want to start as well, but I just realistically don't think I'm going to get them done, but this is the next one I want to start, is the night walk down. So I'm going to try to limit myself by finishing Festive Forest first before I start this, she says. So yeah, those are my plans, although hopefully I can limit myself and will not be tempted by too much at Nashville Needle Market. And then I'm going to try to do like a you can't buy something until you finish something kind of way of doing that. Just to try to slow my roll a little bit. uh, and then get these things finished and on the wall so I have stuff to show off. So I'm not just in undescript hotel rooms all the time. But anyhow, I hope this wasn't too crazy, and I thank you for joining me, and I hope you stick around and subscribe and follow some of my other adventures. I often will do videos of me dyeing fabric, so I'll try to do that. And I have other things I do. I sew, I quilt, I knit. I'm a costume designer. I do all kinds of random crafts, home decoration, all kinds of stuff. Not home decoration. I don't do that. I do home repair. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. It's nice to meet all of you, and I hope you get some stitching done in your copious spare time. Well, it was nice meeting everybody. Have fun being a crafty beaver like me. And I hope you get some stitching done in your copious spare time.